Hey, so I want to show you the game I made in Unreal. It's not really a game, it's more of a level. I'm just trying to learn level design. I didn't really have add any gameplay, like my door doesn't work and the enemies don't really chase you, but I wanted to do a little level design. I spent way too much time trying to get the plants all situated before I found out that there's a way you can just paint the plants around. So I'll show you that here in a little bit. But anyway, so it looks like the Connex boxes got a little overgrown, need some weed whacking done there, but it's kind of look like it's an overgrown and unkempt little warehouse just abandoned out in the boonies. Uh huh. Got some stairs leading up to my showroom, and these are all the models I wanted to make to just kind of like, you know, have a little fill the space with a polished floor, give it something to show up in here. Made the robot in Mr. Portillo's class at the beginning of my. This is the very first model, the very first assignment I actually had to do while at UAT. Was I thought it was gonna be like, make a bush, and they're like, you gotta make a full-on robot your first thing. But anyway, that was my weird little design that I ended up doing. He also taught us how to make hammers. I did this one in 3ds Max, and then I did the robot in Maya. And then I wanted to make a. He has us make a simple character um, design at the beginning of his class, looking like this. Well, mine ended up looking a little chest out, but it's the our first model, so it looked like a simple character design. And then I wanted to make kind of like a bad guy version, so I ended up like stretching him out, stretching out his fingers before I smoothed him out, so you can still see kind of like the big polygonal faces. I made him have boots on. These little boxes right here were a sci-fi asset that I got in Unity, or not the Unity, the Unreal asset store. They have a little fab tab that's on here, and you can download assets to load, like the Connex boxes that you see outside, or the bushes, or like the rocks. These are all assets that I preloaded that somebody else had already made. These weren't mine. I only made like obviously the robot hammers, weird little goofy guys. I made a Glock in Mr. Portillo's class as well. Mine doesn't shoot. I don't know how to do animations yet, but maybe once I learn that, I'll actually have a gun already pre-made for it. I had to do another one, so I made a M4 with like a little grenade launcher on it, um, ACOG and everything. You know what I mean? Magazine. It doesn't shoot bullets or animate either. But when I learn that one, that's another gun I can use. Um, and I kind of like try to design this. I'm not an architect or a designer by any means, but I try to give it a little artistry feel. Uh huh. And you can come out here, which will lead you down the stairs, which is just another way out. But I wanted to see if I can do something because it was on a second story, so it has like a basement. It's an unfinished basement, weeds still growing on the inside of it. And then I hadn't got around to it making these guys animated, but I wanted to make some kind of a bad guy, so I went back into Maya and kind of welded some verts together and got a little spider guy in there. All kinds of eyeballs and little pinchers, but he doesn't. They don't attack you. They don't do anything. They don't even have collisions based on them yet. But they were models I made just for this one, so that one took a little bit of time. And this was the sci-fi asset content still. All these glowy boxes. Like I said, my door doesn't animate or do anything. Press E when you open. I don't know how to work the blueprinting system on here, which I should spend a little bit more time in. But I spent most of my time just trying to make this as detailed as a level as I could to try to give it some kind of characteristics and design. This was actually a Boolean opening. You can see it's kind of got a weird texture to it, but that's weird. It doesn't actually texture the inside of it. I didn't notice that until I get right up on it. But the inside of the Boolean cutout doesn't get textured. Boolean is like it cuts it out using another shape, using a shape to cut out a hole. I use the cone for that one. That's why it gives it that weird little curve right there. And then I didn't know how to make a water or lake. Oh, I didn't know that. Dang, before the video, you can see the edge of the water. It's a box actually laid into the ground, textured with water in a lake pattern, so you can see it kind of like has the flowing waves to it. Hopefully the video quality is good enough to give it that. But it has a big old collision because it is a box. But yeah, and I just dug the terrain down, and so that's what kind of gave it the divots for the water to fit in. And then these are just the boulders floating above the ground. And these are just a lot of those pre-built assets like hanging outside of the container. And then one of the trucks, your getaway vehicle. And then these are just the bushes that were going to be like the end of the game. And then I wanted to show you, I was actually like, you can see all these are one individual asset. I was planting them individually in here. I know this is probably a bit more confusing, but it's when you go into a lot of the content that I had gotten was the container props, um, and you can just drop them in there. Big old container, just drop it in there like anything. What I was doing is individually dropping in the plants, but now you can see it's one individual mesh, all the plants in there. So I'm assuming that's a lot easier to process on the engine than anything. And I just wanted to give a little showcase of the level I made. Thank you.